Well, thanks, Assemblyman Ashby. I am standing, by the way, in case you're wondering. I've always looked up to Jake and Joe and others, John. I've been in the Assembly almost 15 years. I served in the Ohio Army National Guard as well as the U.S. Army Reserves. My rank was First Lieutenant when I left to stay on the farm and harvest sweet corn rather than continuing my career. Looking back now, I made a mistake then. I always enjoyed the military and should have stayed in, certainly. In all the 15 years I've been on the Veterans Affairs Committee, I've served as a ranking member for about 7 years, and I've had 4 different chairpersons of that Veterans Affairs Committee. And I'm not sure how many here understand or acknowledge how many of those individuals actually had military service, serving as chairperson of the Veterans Affairs Committee. The answer is 0. Not one of the chairmen of those 4 in 15 years served 1 day in the military, which makes it difficult for veterans across the state of New York because there's no exact knowledge, realistic observations of what it takes to serve our country. So we're here today indicating that 30% of our conference is comprised of veterans, and we want to grow that number. We want to make sure that veterans in our state are taken care of the way they ought to be taken care of. And only by growing the number of assembly people in our conference will that happen. And I'm really pleased today that we have 3 people with us who are veterans and are running for the state assembly across the state of New York. To serve is to understand. And that's what we're talking about today. I had a piece of legislation last year that I had for 11 years called the Gold Star Families Free College Tuition Bill. Members of the majority, a couple of months before the bill came up for consideration in the committee, passed something called the DREAM Act, which gave free college tuition to illegal immigrants' children. When it came to the Gold Star families, those families who have lost a loved one while serving our country, that committee laid it aside, which means they tabled it. They didn't want to discuss it. They didn't want to bring it up for a vote on the floor. Well, we had a little uprising, if you will, among veterans all across this country, not just New York State, that talked about the Gold Star family legislation that would have given free college tuition for our veterans' families, the Gold Star families. After about a week and a half to 2 weeks, the governor decided this was not a good thing to be doing, not good optics, and actually moved money from within the state budget to take care of our Gold Star families' college tuition. So there are a lot of ways to get things done. Unfortunately, for folks who have no acknowledgement, no actual realistic viewpoint of what it takes to serve our country, and not acknowledging those that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, it's not a good area.